with the president tendered in his resignation. The president has accepted and directed that Mr. Ofori-Atta, the finance minister, sits in as caretaker minister. Do we know what's next for Kyerematen?
Well, thank you very much, Nanatu, for what next for Alan Kyerematen, basically, which a lot of people are aware, is to concentrate on his presidential ambition and once again to mount another leadership challenge in leading the MPP into the 2024 general election. As you know, this won't be the first time Alan Kyerematen may want to contest as leader of the MPP going into a major election. He made a first attempt in 2007. He lost to then candidate Nana Akufo-Addo at the famous Legon Congress. In 2010, he made another attempt. He lost to the same candidate. In 2016, another attempt and he lost. 2020, he didn't attempt because then candidate Akufo-Addo was the president of the republic, and so Alan Kyerematen didn't make any attempt. In 2024, candidate Akufo-Addo, now President Akufo-Addo, will be serving his last term after serving 2 terms. And so there's a vacancy as to the party selecting a new presidential candidate. And so Alan Kyerematen is likely to throw in the hat to lead the MPP going into that particular election, which is a very critical one for the MPP. As you're aware, the MPP is attempting to be the only political party in Ghana, or the first political party in Ghana, to break the 8, as they call it, to continue in office after a second term. So they are hoping to be the first political party to make history in making that particular move. And so the 2024 election is a very critical one for the MPP. But as you spoke about the resignation of Mr. Alan Kyerematen, the conversation about his resignation did not just start yesterday. My information, or the information I picked up, was that the conversation started within the Christmas festivity between the president and Mr. Alan Kyerematen, but the president asked him to hold on a bit so that after the Christmas festivity, they can talk more about it. And my information is that on Thursday, which is yesterday, the president held a marathon meeting with Mr. Alan Kyerematen, which I understand traveled deep into the night, where the president now agreed that it was about time he allows Mr. Alan Kyerematen to go and go and serve his political purpose or his political ambition. So today, officially, the president accepted the resignation of Mr. Kyerematen. As you're aware, the president is the appointing authority. And so even though if you're a minister of state and you want to resign, the president must accept your resignation before you can really step out of the government. And so now it's official. But a statement issued by the office of the president today and signed by the director of communication, Mr. Ijuain, Mr. Alan Kyerematen is no more part of government. He has officially resigned from office and going to serve his political ambition. As you're aware, this is not the first time Alan Kyerematen is resigning from government. He made a similar move in 2007 when he joined the 17 aspirants who wanted to take over from former President Kufuor when he was also leaving office because after serving 2 terms. So this is not new when it comes to resignation from government from Mr. Alan Kyerematen. If you remember that particular year, 2007, over 11 cabinet ministers resigned, including the current president, Nana Akufo-Addo, who was then the Minister of Foreign Affairs. And so resignation from government to serve political ambition is not something new for Mr. Alan Kyerematen. The information I'm also picking up this evening is that other ministers of state who also have presidential ambition are likely to also resign in the coming days or in the coming weeks. So an individual like the Agric Minister, Dr. Akoto Efie, information I'm picking is that is also likely to resign because he has also declared his intention or has the presidential ambition of leading the MPP into the 2024 election. So information I'm also picking is that it is most likely that he may also resign in the coming days or in the coming years. So it's going to be very, very interesting with regards to development within the government and development within the MPP. The information I'm also picking up is that the president is most likely to undertake a reshuffle later part of this month. And so all these people who are resigning, or people who are going to resign from this government, are doing so that they don't become a disruption to the government of Akufo-Addo, and not let their presidential ambition come into the way of the government activity. That's the latest here with regards to the resignation of Alan Kyerematen and other ministers of state who are most likely to follow suit.
Right, so President Akufo-Addo is one who has shut down calls for a reshuffle of his ministers on a number of occasions. Same precedent when calls came for the resignation or firing of Finance Minister Ofori-Atta. He reposed confidence in him and asked that he be allowed to complete negotiations with the IMF. For someone who had so much faith and confidence in his appointees, how much of a convincing did Mr. Kyerematen have to do to get him to accept his resignation?
Well, if you remember, somewhere in 2022, there were reports that the president has asked all those who are nursing political ambitions to put their positions down. If you remember very well, the president made those comments to these ministers of state during a cabinet meeting, that anyone who has an ambition of succeeding him in 2024 should prepare to resign from government. And so Mr. Alan Kyerematen doing exactly what the president had told them in cabinet wasn't really surprising for him or any of his colleague ministers of state, because already the president has given them the red flag with regards to this directive. But for someone like Mr. Alan Kyerematen, he's considered to be a very key member of government, the Minister of Trade and Industry, a cabinet portfolio, a cabinet minister. It was a very difficult decision for Mr. Alan Kyerematen to have taken, and for the president to also accept that particular position, because he considered Alan to be a key person within this administration. If you are aware, Alan Kyerematen was given the mandate to spearhead the ambitious and the government flagship program of the One District, One Factory initiative, which was a major political promise by the then candidate Akufo-Addo coming into the 2016 election. So it was more or less the baby of Alan Kyerematen to spearhead this particular agenda. Already we are told that over 100 factories have been established under this particular initiative, all thanks or credit to Mr. Alan Kyerematen in ensuring that this particular promise or ambition of this government is fulfilled. Mr. Kyerematen is also credited with bringing in the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area to Ghana or Accra. If you're aware, this was something that Kigali, which is Rwanda, was also lobbying to have this particular headquarters, and it came to Ghana. So many people credit Mr. Kyerematen for his work in bringing this particular headquarters or secretariat here in Accra. He's also credited with the automobile industry, where we have automobile giants making an attempt to establish assembling points here in Ghana. We can talk about the VWs, the Toyotas, and the Nissans, all making an attempt to establish assembling plants here in Ghana. And so many people believe that